Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
We're back.
We are back. No. Yeah.
We're back.
Hey, update. We're getting closer to 100 followers on the YouTubes. I don't know about Facebook, but
YouTube,
hey,
we're at 90 subscribers on YouTube.
90 subscribers.
I don't hear you, Perry. Where's your mic down?
Paul, we discussed this before the show, and you're like, it's not a problem.
Yes, it's not funny.
Shout out to my lovely husband because he shared this on his Facebook timeline that we were on tonight so people could check it out. Hey, hi, how are you? If you haven't been here before, this is the Christian Anything Show. We're doing stuff. Producer man Paul is off screen. You can't see him, but he's helping Paris with his mic. This is Rachel, otherwise known as Rachel. And this is Perry, otherwise known as Paris. And we just chat about whatever happens. And it's Monday night. And welcome to the weird show. I mean, you sound good to me. Sound very
Christian
polished.
Anything Show where anything Christian can happen.
That's right.
Anything can happen as long as it's family friendly.
Mm-hmm. We don't have any plans and everything is made up. Or the points don't matter.
Anything show.
If you are new here, we are on a reduced summer schedule, so we've been doing live streaming every other week on Mondays. Come fall, we're going to try to get back at it, doing it every Monday night. And
Yeah.
tonight, we have some lovely competition with our beloved leader and Apostle Malik that
I see you, Apostle.
we love you. We're not on your live stream supporting your live stream because we're doing our own.
Gen Z finger heart.
OG finger heart. Also, it's not until 9. So people have time.
But
They can
they
be up
gotta
in here.
get ready. You know, when Apostle
What,
goes
mentally
live,
prepare?
yeah, they gotta mentally prepare because like Apostle
not
was
going
hyping
live.
it up.
They gotta get.
No, like because
They gotta
Apostle was
get their
hyping it up.
notebook
Did you
out and
see?
their pen and pencil. Get ready.
They gotta
to
take the prophetic notes. You know,
Yeah.
the prophets
Get
are
your
gonna be
donations
online.
ready. Why don't you practice and send them
donations.
to us first?
Yes.
And then you can see how it feels, and then you'll be ready. You'll be warmed up.
Yeah.
So we have some dad jokes. If you're on YouTube watching the replay, you're the coolest one. I'm just going to say it. You're the coolest one. So we have some dad jokes that we're going to start the show off tonight because we haven't done dad jokes as an official segment in like months. So Paul, producer man Paul, is going to cue up the fact that we got
I had the other one first.
dad jokes coming in hot.
And why do we do dad jokes? Because we think they're funny. That's why.
Because and we know a lot of dads. You know, we all have dads.
Surely, verily, verily.
And our children have dads.
Our children
do.
will have dads, and our children's children will have dads. So really, it's for
the dads.
the dads.
Yeah. So just
Shout
a little.
out to our favorite dads. Sorry.
Oh,
Just
no, go
real
ahead.
Quick. Shout out to our favorite dads. Jacob's always in the chat supporting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he has to be because
Hey, what's up, boo? Love you.
Not done.
So here's the thing I was gonna say, Chiz. I was also gonna shout out my husband because I love puns. I'm a very punny sense of humor kind of person.
I love puns too.
And then I married Jacob, and then his dad jokes just went to the next level.
punster.
So now we're a match made in heaven. So we're gonna start off the show with an epic dad joke.
Let's
This
do-
dad joke's so epic it requires two people. Paris is gonna be my second. Okay, imagine I'm the dad. Paris is the child. We're driving down the highway. Look, a bunch of cows.
Not a bunch. A herd.
A herd of what?
Herd of cows.
Sure, I've heard of cows.
No, a cow herd.
Why should I care what a cow heard? I don't have any secrets from a cow.
When Jenny sent me this cow joke, I thought it was going to be the cow farm. Gonna see cows outside.
Oh my gosh, we gotta get that clip. We have to get a clip and share it with Paul because it's hilarious.
Do you know
Right,
what cows eat off of? What they eat the most of? What they shouldn't eat, but they do.
Oh, they eat the most of grass is what they eat the most
Okay,
of.
Then the second the most of.
Hay?
Corn.
Well, it depends who's raising your cows.
Friend missed the joke. Earlier today, we were like, we're going to work in corn. and
Corn! Ready? It's got the juice.
It's got the juice.
Sorry, you should have prepped me. I remembered
You gotta say
it.
it's corn.
It's corn.
A big lumpy knob. It has the juice. It has the juice.
You guys want to hear a joke about pizza?
Yes.
Never mind, it's too cheesy. That was delayed. That was funny.
Have you heard about those new corduroy pillows?
No.
They're making headlines.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's really funny.
I had one that I got off of
Yes, Jacob.
TikTok.
Who's on first but for cows?
Who's on first? But for I love that. It was like, Rachel, where do the bad rainbows go?
I don't know.
To Prism. It's a light sentence, but it gives them time to reflect.
That's a triple whammy right there.
Oh my gosh. Did you know that scuba and tuba are both acronyms? Scuba stands for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. And tuba stands for terrible underwater breathing apparatus.
Why did the stadium get so hot after the game?
Mine.
Because all the fans left.
Okay, that's actually pretty good.
Oh, okay. When does a joke become a dad joke?
When it becomes apparent.
Well, during delivery, it becomes apparent.
What, Jacob? What is a funny mountain called? Tell us, Fran.
Oh, a funny mountain.
A high hilarious? I don't know.
Oh yeah. Rolling.
Rolling.
Like, rolling on the floor
Oh.
laughing. Like
Waffle.
Raffle waffles? You have us in suspense. The delay of YouTube is causing great suspense.
Tell us.
What is a funny mountain called? Hilarious.
Hilarious.
I was close. I
I like it a lot. It's
Okay.
corn.
I got one for you, Paris.
Oh dear.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Cargo.
Cargo who?
Nah, mate. I'll go who. Cargo beep beep.
Did Zeke write that?
No.
Talk about dad jokes. Your oldest son is the best at making dad jokes. They're so great.
He likes to find them. But also he tries to think of them himself, and they were bad for a long time. It's like, knock, knock, who's there? Red. Got you. It's like, what?
Wait, which one cites the deep magic, though?
None of them.
Did you hear
No,
about
Michael,
Don't make me
technically.
play it.
No, you're trying to play it.
Did you hear about the Italian chef who died?
It's so funny.
He passed away.
Oh. Rachel, what do you call a fish with no eyes?
I have no idea.
There you go.
What do you call a song about a tortilla?
A rap. Hilarious.
Hilarious.
Did you hear the rumor about butter? Well, I'm not going to spread it.
What genre of music are national anthems?
Oh.
Country.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Here's a little bit of a back and forth. My sister married an Irishman.
Oh, really?
No, O'Reilly.
O'Reilly.
All the parts.
My friend says to me, "What rhymes with orange?" And I told him, "No, it doesn't."
Oh, I like it.
I talked to a poet who only wrote about wells. He was deep.
How did the hacker escape the FBI?
How?
He ran somewhere.
What is a fancy fish called?
Oh,
A goldfish?
spectacle.
Oh, sophisticated. What do you call fake spaghetti?
An impasta.
An impasta.
What do you call a rude cow? Beef jerky.
Oh. Well, he would get there. You're mean to me. So there's another one, like the cow in the herd joke is this dad goes to his kid and they're driving and says, look, a flock of cows. And the kid says, herd of cows, Dad. And he says, of course I've heard of them. There's a flock right over there. Oh my god.
I've got one. You know what, Jacob? I got one for you. Ready? My wife screamed, "You haven't listened to a single thing I said." What a weird way to start a conversation.
I like it. I like it. Okay, well, we actually have...
Harry, this is one more.
No, go for it.
My friend was showing me his tool shed and pointed to a ladder. "That's my step ladder," he said. I never knew my real ladder.
I never knew my ladder.
Where do you learn to make banana split?
Sunday school.
Nice.
I likes it.
Nice.
I likes it.
Okay. So we have normally we do something serious before we do something silly. I think we are going to go into something sillier before we do something serious. Unless we're changing our mind.
Unless our non-existent audience at the moment tells us to do something different.
So remember, the YouTubers watch afterwards.
They do.
The show must carry on
They
for
show
them.
up.
We do. We
You know what?
appreciate
We're
all you
gonna-
people that catch on the replay.
We're going to do this just for them. There's a good 30 to 50 people that watch the show after it premieres. So, I mean, hi. We're here for you tonight. Tonight's your show.
We're here
And
for
Jacob.
you. Whoa, whoa, oh. Whoa,
I'm watching.
whoa.
And Paul.
Paul has to
Paul
watch.
has to watch, but...
I can get on the YouTube if you
Producer man Paul.
So, Paris, explain to us this new intro show thing that we're doing. This new segment.
So I was scrolling on the YouTubes, and there are a group of ladies, and they have like a little game show, and it's the
Does it matter what it's called?
round table something. Anyways, the gist of it is they try to make each other laugh by saying like a fake deep quote, and if you laugh, it's like a try not to laugh. So if you laugh,
Got it.
you're out. But they go around saying these crazy stuff, and it's supposed to, you have to affirm it, like a round table, and we're at a round table. So like round table podcasts where it's like I say something really deep and everybody's like, wow,
that's
brave.
wow,
Yeah, I
brave.
thought you were going to say the name of the
Brave.
show when you hesitated, that it was like a really inappropriate name. And I was like, do we need to
No.
know?
I can't remember it, but I think it's like round table talk
Something or other.
something.
We're not endorsing it. It's
No,
not
no,
clean,
no.
But
We're gonna
I
do
like
our version of it.
our
Yeah.
version, which is a little
Oh, there you go. Interesting talk show ladies.
and there we are. Also, this carries over to when we do our weird
Welcome back.
podcast interviews with fake people.
Yes.
So we're going to have random slips of paper, and we're going to have to try and carry on a serious conversation amongst us with our slips of paper.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How we doing this?
Okay, so just pick two.
Any two?
Any two.
I'm gonna do three.
Fine.
Oh yeah, do three, because some of them are just one words.
Yeah, some of them are just one words.
You got three?
Yeah.
Okay. These are non sequiturs.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Paul. So nice to see you in the chat. I feel like we're just so close, you know?
Oh, we should use one of your weird ones as the premise of what we're talking about. Okay, so we have our work into the
box of
combo
weird ones.
things, but we have a box of weird ones, and this can tell us what the theme of the talk show is.
Okay.
We're talking about Christian rappers on today's episode of Interesting Talk Show Ladies. Okay.
Wow.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and open up the show with a monologue. Not really. But I just want to say, like, it just really seems like Christian rappers really just like have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
It's just.
I think you're right. Yeah, I see that a lot.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're, a bunch of snowflakes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we should do that. We should do that. Chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Rach?
I just think that rappers are like always I think all of them are unfaithful and they're always having some weird word called affair.
It's just like slam,
And it's always with like their employees. So like it's a real not good look. Both of you are out. You're not supposed to laugh.
Is it actually like a not laughing game?
No laughing.
Okay, I didn't know
I already
that.
broke. I laughed.
I mean, I just feel like in the culture, there should really be a lot more wholeness, It shouldn't be such a jigsaw puzzle. I mean, get it together, maybe.
Well, let's but Virginia, you got to remember, we have to be thankful to the magazines, because those those special ones, that call out all this nonsense and they keep these celebrities on their toes
Brave.
so they don't get away with it.
Brave.
Yeah.
Brave.
Wow, I think that they should just hit the road.
Yeah.
It would be even better if their name was Jack, I just feel like that would just really, send it home, I think, a little bit. So
Are you laughing? Are you laughing?
So I was
Am I
I was just thinking about.
No, I'm
You wouldn't
not.
dare laugh about such serious.
I mean, the
serious
other problem
things.
that we have with Christian rappers today. I was reading that magazine, so brave, and one of them stole 50 pumpkins.
You can't judge them. You can't judge them. Only God can judge them.
It's ice cold. Ice cold.
But I feel like some of these people are just, they act like they've been greased all the time, like as if, it's not gonna read, as if, their reputation is smeared And I really, and they act like, they act like they always have the short end of the stick. But really, I mean, the rest of us are like sucking a lemon in our lives while they have all the money, and the money is just raining on them like cats and dogs, and it's just not fair. I think it's not fair.
What an artist. I mean, it's just rude.
It's not like that they actually do something important, like, I don't know, fight fires with a leg.
But like, Paris, is there a silver lining to this whole situation? I mean, how are we going to handle the rappers?
I mean, new rappers every day, they grow on trees, they just...
They're coming out the woodwork.
Brave.
Thank you for joining us. Interesting talk show, ladies. Come back. Oh my gosh, I can't.
Brave.
You guys sounded pretty good.
I stole 50 pumpkins. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Gotta enjoy the guy side chat in the chat.
What's happening?
Jacob and Paul having their friendly
The men are talking
guy
about
talk.
going to the dump while we're trying not to laugh, and that is like...
The machines are really cool. You should see them.
Okay.
I'm so happy for you guys.
So can I tell? Can I tell a little story
Yes,
time?
let's have Paris story time.
I need a little story time.
What had happened was
What had happened was Jacob took me to the dump because I moved. And in case you missed,
Can we like work in a cow jug?
It's a half on.
Just gonna make ass.
So in case like some of you guys missed the last stream, Paris found a place. That's so wonderful. And
Hashtag
so
blessed. Hashtag so blessed.
hashtag
I was gonna
hashtag blessed. So I had a bunch of stuff that I needed to throw out, and so Jacob took me to the dump for the first time, and I'm like,
first time.
the first time I've never been to the dump before. And so Jacob is like probably wondering like why I'm like, it's so big. There's an incinerator. I want to go there. I just want to see, do they turn it on? And Jacob's like, yeah, smoke.
It's like running all the time.
It's like foggy. It gets smoky, it's, takes me all frames to. and he's like, have you never been here before? And I'm like, no. So I'm just standing there like, there's piles of stuff.
The cardboard crusher.
I saw the cardboard crusher. I saw they had like a what was the thing, Jacob? First of all, they had a crane. They had a thingy that came down to just like grab stuff, and then they had a bulldozer.
It's just sitting in the back. Like,
Yeah. And it was like they had these things that was a machine, the little pusher with the thingies, and it was like lifting stuff up and like spinning it around. And they were like, yeah, just dump your stuff over here. But if it's metal, you put it over there. And I had this like standing lamp that didn't work no more. So like I was standing there just like full hype, just like, yeah. And I felt it. I felt the surge.
Is Sparta!
Yes! I absolutely did it. I was like, it is I, Leonidas, standing before the horde. This is Sparta!
It's like the machines are
Oh my gosh,
It's
that's
like
funny.
the one time in your life you get to do that.
Yeah,
Valid
destroy stuff.
excuse. But what's great about our dump in Lorton, Virginia, which has the incinerator stuff. They call it Mordor, like the street.
They do. It's Mordor and
Is the other one
Mordor and like
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Lord of the Rings?
it's two Lord of the Rings references, and it was great. I think it's like
actual name of
Gandalf
the-
and Mordor or something like that. Like it's something silly, but it's great.
Fun fact: in Fairfax County, they incinerate all of our garbage. So
Yeah.
Go Fairfax
we don't have
County.
any big giant landfills
Fairfax
filled with
County.
rotting stuff forever. It gets burned.
We also don't really recycle much.
Not anymore.
Because China doesn't want recycling anymore. They're like, we don't want it anymore. Okay, we'll just burn it.
Pretty much.
Send it to the fire.
Furnace Road, which
Furnace
is a little
Road.
bit
Oh,
funny.
Furnace
Yes,
and
it is.
And then
Mordor.
Mordor Drive.
It's funny because we get our
One
recycling truck comes
cannot
by.
simply
just like the
walk
garbage truck that was
into
just there
Mordor.
20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Life.
It's private. I think private still can choose what they want to.
I think all
They
our
do.
audience members who are not ADHD cannot focus on all 4 or 5 conversations going
You know
on
what?
right
That's
now.
a fair point.
Welcome to the Christian Anything Show, where we have 1 neurodivergent, 2 neurodivergents, 3 neurodivergents, 4 neurodivergents.
And a fifth one in the audience.
Hi, Jacob.
We're special and we love it. You know what? But life's not boring. You can't say that.
It sure isn't. But also, can we just like talk about how like all of us having some level of neurodivergency and how great it is to have conversations with each other? Because it's like we're all interrupting each other and we can never all finish a story.
Constantly.
So it means that it's either great or terrible. There's like no in between.
I was talking to somebody, I was chatting, it was like, so like tell me about your circle. I'm like, well, we're all neurodivergent, and like conversations just like look like if you interrupt Rachel, she'll just like start getting louder and like as if like you're not gonna talk over me. Like if you've ever noticed, like Rachel will be like, yeah, so and da-da-da-da-da-da.
And then it kept happening.
And Jenny's like, excuse me, I just want you to know that you interrupted me, so I'm gonna finish what I had to say. Thanks.
Hashtag trauma.
And Paris is like, you interrupted me. I'm going to shut down.
I'll never talk to you ever
I will
again.
never talk again. Trauma. And Paul is just oblivious. He'll just keep talking.
This is true. Paul is
No, you
oblivious.
forgot. With me, I'll pause. We'll have 5 or 10 other
You had-
stories,
you
and
had
then
2
I
different rounds.
will make sure I go back and finish what I was
Okay,
going to
let's
say.
be- let's-
But
be
this is
true.
how you do
We
it.
will
Hold on,
finish
hold on,
what
hold
Rachel was
on.
going to
We
say.
all
Even
have
if it's an hour later.
we all have different roads that we take.
For sure.
The one that Paris notices the most is the you keep talking and just get
Yes.
louder.
But
However,
also,
there's
there's
also
another
the
one.
pause, and then when you're done talking, seamlessly switching right back into what I was saying, talking. Rachel does that
So,
as
Like
well.
the
What
way
I was
she
saying
does
was-
it, yeah, that is like she'll be like, you'll say so like, okay,
'Cause I do
we're
the same
talking about
thing.
something like
I'm not
yeah,
always like, you interrupted me. So I'm like, okay, and I wait, and then I come back to it.
yeah. So like I was saying was that that's
what I'm
Rachel.
saying?
That's what Rachel does. That's
Yeah.
the other
And it
part of
doesn't
it.
matter how long it's been. It could have been an hour.
But it's the just stare at you and like. So yeah, what I was saying. We know each other so well.
It's a great time.
It's
a great time.
that
We
we
were
all
really trying to say
love each other. Like that's the important thing.
today.
It takes a lot of grace and love to put up with each other. That's
But-
why we do it.
Also, wasn't there a live
If we don't
stream?
love each other, who will? You know what I mean?
Jesus.
And it brings us back to the Christian part of the Christian Anything show. That was great. That was great. I'm clipping your face, and that was perfect. That's going on the thumbnail.
By the way, my daughter Jade, she's almost 2. Her favorite face to make is this. And so she'll go. And then you're required to go. And then she'll go. It's the cutest thing ever.
That's
It's
also
so
going in the
cute.
thumbnail.
It's the big eyes. That's her favorite face to
Your
copy.
daughter has a great face too. She gets the
Yeah.
I was
Her
saying
little
you were
cheese.
pulling an Eleanor when you were telling your landfill story.
no.
It was like,
Oh, it's my
the
favorite
go-to.
thing. Like you show Eleanor something, and she's like, "Wow, wow!" Like
Is
it's
that-
like
is
the
that-
best thing
it's
she's
the
ever
classic.
seen.
Remember that thing that went around the internet a few years back, and it was this kid that opened up a Christmas present, and he was like, "It's what I always wanted."
Avocado.
No, he goes, "What is it?"
Oh, that one. Yes.
The avocado one was funny too.
I do
but-
love it. It's an avocado. Thanks.
So I'm wondering if our to be faithful audience that will watch this later.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going like, well, ladies, are you going to talk about all the crazy stuff that happened?
We
No.
sure
Weeks?
are.
We
on
are.
the Saints Be Serious, which is this week
Online.
online. Hashtag this
The
last
whole
2
world's
weeks
on fire.
online. Let's talk about
The world is on fire.
it. We didn't start the fire.
It was always burning since the world's been turning. Also, also accurate, biblically accurate, really, if you think about it.
There is nothing new under the sun.
So yeah, we're not doing Saints Be Serious this week. We're doing This Week Online because This Week Online is serious enough for everybody, I think.
Big facts. So like let's top it off.
Should we preface with like we're not a political show?
Yes.
However, you cannot live in America or the world and not comment on politics in this particular season. So we're just talking about it.
100%.
Take it for what you will.
And
we're
we're
gonna chat about it.
not like we're not gonna go into if we're supporting red or blue, donkeys or elephants. We're just not gonna do it.
We're just gonna chat about the things that we feel like talking about. Okay?
So number one, the big thing, the big thing, because there hasn't been one of these
who's
since
he, what's
Reagan, there was an assassination attempt on former President Donald J. Trump
big
at a
news.
rally in Pennsylvania.
Huge, big news. Huge,
Huge.
huge.
Yeah.
It's actually like kind of super sad and serious, and just
Yeah.
like the way for me I was talking to a couple friends. It's super disheartening to see the way that people of a certain affiliation were totally responding in they missed, they should have got him, because like
I agree.
can't imagine hating anybody that much who I don't know, never met the man in my life. Paul,
We're gonna
take
we
a
have
5-minute
screaming
break.
babies in the
Yeah,
background.
we'll-
So
we'll-
Paul,
we'll
if you
talk
want to
amongst
check,
ourselves.
or I could
Producer
check,
man
but
Paul.
one of us is gonna go check on the screaming child.
Of $5 that one of their show turned off, and they're upset.
That could
So,
very well be it.
I agree. I agree with you because I feel like whether he should be running for president or he shouldn't be running for president or whatever,
Whether you like him or dislike
he's a man
him,
doing his job.
he's a dude.
Or he's trying to get a job. He's like the worst job interview in the history of ever
Facts.
is the American
Running for
presidential
president. Yep.
system. But it's a job interview. Could you imagine going to a job interview, really heated panel, you're just talking to people and then someone tries to kill you?
And people are cheering about it.
It's just, I would just say, whatever your feelings are about him, are you seriously sitting there in your house? Not you, of course, audience member. I'm sure you're fine. But are you really sitting there in your house, like cheering or disappointed that there's a person who has a family and children that didn't die, that didn't get murdered? Like, that's what we're happy about?
It's so, and like, I don't know. We don't even treat serial killers this way. And that's like the weird thing to me. Like we don't, like, when there was a certain killer, I'm not naming him because I don't believe in all that, naming serial killers, giving them power and stuff. But there was a certain serial killer who had the 2 movies, a documentary, like it was crazy.
Yeah.
People were all over talking about this guy and like his doings.
The fact that they're making shows about serial killers at all.
And it's like on like there was a singer who's like, I would want to have dinner with him because he just seems like he's so cool. And I'm like,
Yeah,
how
Little
can
Miss
we
name starts with an
ponytail?
A.
Yeah, with the high ponytail. I don't understand how our culture became this thing where we're so obsessed and we want to have conversations and we want to celebrate murderers, like just straight up demonic, satanic murderers.
Mm-hmm.
But a person who, let's be honest, he's just kind of like a jerk.
Yeah.
We're like, dang, they didn't kill you. So sad about, like, it's so weird to me. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm not with it.
I'm not with it either. It's not okay. Jacob agrees. No way. It is, I don't know. It's disheartening. And then on top of all that, we have a really old president who's terrifyingly losing faculties and abilities for things. And it's real scary and weird. And then he steps down.
Yeah, for the first I don't think that's ever happened either.
No, it did, but it's been a
Mm-hmm.
long time.
But here's the part that I didn't really think about, but I saw it today. A lot of people talking about it was that there's a lot of people feel that he was like stringing them along and lying because he was like, no, I'm fine and I'm going to run, and then ends up pulling out anyway. But after the Democratic National Convention, so like he had already gotten voted in as the primary candidate and then backed out. So there's people being like, hey, that's really sketchy and that's really like a wrong move. And then one side I get like maybe there's enough mounting pressure that's like, okay, I finally have to give in.
I think
And the
that's
timing
in
sucks.
my
I think it was
opinion,
the
I think
pressure.
that's
I
what
think
it
it's the
was.
pressure. And I think like
Yeah.
he's still human. Like what person wants to admit that they can't do what is supposed to be like the greatest job in the world? Like nobody wants to admit that. Nobody wants to admit that they're getting old. And
Or they're just bad at something enough that everyone's calling you out on it and you have to like
but
own
yeah,
up to that and step down.
and I absolutely agree with Rachel that I think it's pressure because I remember when before he ever got elected, when his son passed, he was like, "I can't, I'm not doing it." That was like the one time when I was like starting to become an adult and reaching 18, and like I can vote in elections. I was like, "Yo, I really like this dude," because I respected somebody who could stand up and say, "You know what? When you got to be president of the United States, you got to be 110% in it, and you got to be up there, and I'm not up there. I'm not with it. Like, I got to get over my kid passing." Like, it was a whole thing. And I was like, I respect that. I totally respect somebody who can say, "I just can't do the job right now. Like, I just can't." But that's like kind of historic also. And then
We're pausing to read.
Come
Jacob's
on,
comment.
Jacob. It is.
Read it for
Producer Man Paul. It's really sad what's happening to both. Don't want to lose your life or your mind.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Well,
He said that.
I just find it funny how people just so quickly words come out their mouths without them really thinking about what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, can we all like slow down a little bit and just think more about what you're saying before you say it?
Yeah. And think about what you're saying. Like really think about the gravity of the words you're using. Because there are people that that they compare apples and oranges, like, or not even apple. They're comparing kayaks to oranges. Okay. It's like radically different things. Someone compared Trump to Hitler. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. The fact that they're both white men, sure. That's kind of about it. Like,
well, I mean, when you talk about the comparison of like criminality or just
there's no comparison.
maniacalness, I mean, Hitler was responsible for killing over 12 million people. Over 6 million of those were Jews.
Millions.
Millions. And he talked other people into doing it. So, and I understand people being angry at a political figure that they don't agree with and all the things. Like, I get why someone would want to try to compare him to like a Nazi or to
A dictator
to
in general
Hitler.
or something, yeah.
But like when we really talk about these dictators, like Mussolini was worse than Hitler. Like you have Mussolini, Hitler, you have the Asian ones, Mao Zedong, or some of the other ones. Like we're just talking about like just the viciousness, the level of no respect for life that people die or get disappeared simply because they don't align themselves with the government completely. Like, and I feel like in this country, we get away with making those comparisons because yes, things are not perfect in this country. Things are not great. But when you haven't lived, like I love the Miami Cubans that are like, hey, y'all like want to praise Cuba. I used to live there kind of thing. And it's not great, you know, and they're like, America's a bazillion times better than what we had in Cuba. We had no freedoms in Cuba. And then you have all these people who want to, you know, go, oh, Cuba, if only America was more like Cuba. And it's like, but they're talking not out of experience, but out of theory.
We romanticize these, even when after October 7th, when Israel was attacked, and you had all these people, Americans, born, raised here. Like, number one, it is a privilege to live in this country and to have the freedom of speech as, like, that is our First Amendment, like freedom of speech.
And freedom of religion.
And freedom of religion, because there are censorship laws in other countries, and there are things that you straight up can't say. You can't be in Russia and be like, the government sucks.
We
like,
wouldn't do this live stream in other countries. We couldn't even do this.
You like, you know?
No, in North Korea, you can't even watch television.
You don't have three channels.
You have one channel, state channel.
Oh,
You know, so like, we're super lucky and blessed. Like, regardless of what you want to say about the government, like, we are so blessed to be in this country. But what was shocking, like, I was like, we're living in, I don't even recognize this place anymore, because the way that, like, there were people in Chicago chanting death to America in Arabic and death to Israel and death to America. And I'm like, what?
And we live in a country where you can do that.
You can, but you should.
But do you see what I mean?
But see, it goes both
they're
ways.
taking advantage of a country that allows them to do that, whereas in other countries they'd be dead.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we have lines that you can't cross.
They arrested the guy who posted that, someone needs to murder Trump.
Yeah, like you can't have calls to action
because you
to
can't.
murder.
That's the one thing that they talk
Inciting
about
violence.
is
Ironically, they didn't ban the post on Facebook. They just came to his house and arrested him.
Well, there we go. What's the
weird.
one thing that we're taught in civics class? Like, you can't be in a movie theater and yell fire.
Oh, yeah.
And if everybody runs out and people die, like, you're gonna get in trouble because you were inciting
call to action.
Yeah,
violence.
That's not protective
Not
free
protective.
speech.
But this is why, the Bible says that the power of life and death is in the tongue. And that is something that as Christians, that even in this time where it can be real easy to be real reckless with our mouths because other people are being reckless with
Preach.
their mouths,
Preach.
it is important that we hold that line, because we know that the things that we say, even online, we may think that it's a flyby of being like, oh, haha, they missed. But you don't know what in the spirit that you're hyping up, what spirits that you're giving power to.
Come on.
Because you're saying some off the wall stuff, what curses you're laying on somebody. Like Kevin Zadai had a whole part of his testimony was talking about how Jesus showed him in the spirit all the things that people had said about him and how it was covering him like a big black nasty cloak or something. Rachel, you can correct me if I'm off. And things
You gotta
stick.
send me that.
Things stick in the spirit. Like when we say stuff, it sticks. And Jesus says, even if you think about, your brother is a stupid, even if you think that your brother is a fool, you're essentially killing him in the eyes of the Father. So that's just something I feel like we need to remember as a people in these times. It can be real easy to just start talking sideways out of our mouths, but we have to remember that we still have to hold that line, even with our thoughts and whatever.
And
Amen.
I think coming back to a baseline of valuing humanity, because we are all created in God. God created us, we're all humans. We start there.
Yeah.
We start with where we're similar, what things we all appreciate, what things we're all grateful for. Like if we would start at that baseline of where do we do agree, where do we do empathize and sympathize with each other, and then at the end get to the places where we can differ on. But right now there's just this demonic push of thought process that if you don't agree with me on everything, then I can immediately consider you other and immediately consider you dangerous or evil even. It's like, you're evil. Why? Because you don't agree with me politically, or you don't agree with me religiously, or you don't agree with me. Suddenly I can just be like, if you're evil, and then if I write you off as evil, well, then I don't have to respect you. I don't have to speak well of you. Like, it's just the self-fulfilling process of otherness. And that's the danger of racism too. It's like racism is saying that someone else isn't worthy to be considered human because of their skin color. Then you vilify them because you're literally making them something other than you. And it's just the same thing. It's the devil wants to divide. And how he divides is he gets us to not see each other as human, gets us to not see each other as equals or as fellow countrymen or as allies. And if he can get us on opposite ends of the spectrum, ready to shoot each other, then he's already done one.
And like you were saying, Rachel, like this stuff should be pulling us to a place of prayer. Like, regardless of who wins the election, whether it's Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, like whatever side of the aisle, like I'm going to be praying for both of them, because respectfully, regardless if I like one or don't like the other, or can't stand one and can't stand, like, it doesn't matter. You should want to hope and pray that the leader of your country that you live in, pay taxes in, work in, have your family in, is doing a good job. Like, then that is, so we should be praying more about, one, what is God's heart? What is God's thoughts on what's happening? How can we make sure that his will gets done on the earth? How are we going to partner with the Lord to make sure that what he wants to happen happens, and that the enemy doesn't win? And also that regardless of who wins, that we can, I don't know, that they do a good job, that we can maintain it, keep it together, that nobody dies before their appointed time.
There is a Bible verse. I don't have my Bible
Come
in
on,
front of
teacher
me.
Rachel.
It's Acts. So in Acts, it was interesting. Okay, it's Acts where, so the Apostle Paul gets pulled by the Jewish leaders in one of the towns, and they get up in his grill and they slap him, like they insult him and slap him. And
Exactly,
the
Jacob.
Apostle Paul, rightfully so, goes, you have no right to do that. He challenged it. Like, he pushed back. He's like, hey, you can't do that. I'm a Roman citizen, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, do you know who you're talking to? And he's like, no. They're like, it's the head priest. It's the, I don't remember the term.
The most pharisaical Pharisee.
Yeah, it's basically the head priest, the person in charge. And Paul goes, he basically apologized. I don't know if you can find it. It's like in the middle. It's middle end of Acts. I
That's
don't have
pumped.
any
I'm
way
gonna
to
look it up.
And it was interesting because, like, he had a snarky retort and self-defended himself because he thought he was dealing with some whippersnapper who was like, and he's like, but then when they said it was the head priest, he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And the Bible, the words of God says we have to respect those in charge and authority.
That's good.
And so he apologized, and he didn't even do anything wrong. But you could tell he's
But
like,
we're respected where respect is due.
But if he had knew who he was talking to, he wouldn't have had that snarky reply. And I just thought that was fascinating because Paul, if you read through the book of Acts, and that would be my assignment this week for y'all, maybe this month or this year, read through the book of Acts and study Paul, the apostle, is really fascinating. Just how he handled different situations is really fascinating. That he had all sorts of crazy stuff happen to him.
This is true.
Pretty much every town there was a riot and a mob, and he got stoned or beaten or thrown out, or there was something tragic happened every time. But it's really interesting to see how he was such an intelligent person. He was incredibly capable, but he measured himself and he held himself together and he conducted himself with dignity the entire time, no matter what came at him, what happened to him. And I think that really came from the humility he had, because he knew he didn't deserve what God did for him.
Yeah.
And he said, I used to be the Pharisee of Pharisees. I used to be the guy who would go around killing and imprisoning and chasing Christians. And Jesus himself came and stopped him and arrested him and changed him. And, you know, the fact that he then was like, it's just the humility, like, of the gravity and the humility and the opportunity he had to do it right the second time around.
Yeah.
And how he conducted himself. And it's just, it's truly amazing.
Hey, Namir and Roxy. Probably Roxy, I bet. But
Hey.
The branches.
Hey,
The
branches.
branches.
You're catching us at a serious
so it's
moment.
really, really just amazing to look at how he responded to everything, and just how ridiculous. When you look at how the apostles and the disciples handled such tragic events, and then when you look at how we're handling stuff, and it's like, it's not even in the same ballpark, and then you feel ashamed and embarrassed by the state
Gen Z
of Christians
Fingerheart.
in the church.
That just
So,
hurts my
Lord
fingers.
help us.
Yes. Yes. Okay. We cannot talk about anything more serious. We've been talking about serious things for like, it feels like an hour.
It has not been an hour.
I
It's
know.
been
I
like
know it
20
hasn't been an
minutes.
hour. Okay. This is me being dramatic. Okay. It just feels like a lot.
Dramatic.
Me, I'm
So the point is, there's lots of historical stuff happening, and we need to pray, and
pray.
handle
Pray,
it
pray.
better.
More better.
Get filled with Holy Spirit if
And
you're not
like
filled with
Rachel
Holy
was
Spirit.
saying about, I'll say Paris. I meant to say Paul.
Apostle
Not that
Paul.
one. The Apostle Paul. Give respect where it's due.
Put some respect on their name.
This is the greatest thing.
It's the
and by the name, I mean Jesus.
The name above all names.
Name above all names.
Okay. Well, we did our funny stuff at the beginning of the show, and I know we had a thing, but I don't know if any of us are prepared for the other thing, so I don't think we're doing the other thing.
Translation.
I'm not prepared. Are you prepared?
Yeah.
Well, we could wing.
We
wing
had
it.
the one idea. You didn't protest the one idea.
What's the one idea? Do you have one? If you have one, we can do it. Let's go.
Yeah, Rachel and I had to do our thing, our back and forth conversation.
About what?
With our vocal fry.
About what?
About Revelation?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, I thought that was like a you thing. I
With
thought
a-
you were going to do it.
I literally said me and Rachel like we did with our California
Okay.
Dream and Translation.
We'll do it. We'll attempt- we'll
welcome
attempt this.
to some shenanigans. I'm not in this
Shen-
one, so I'm just going to
shenan.
sit here and laugh.
You know we shenaned once and we're
We're
going
gonna
to shen again.
It's time for some shenanigans. And so tonight for shenanigans, we have Bible translations. Not only do we have Bible translations, we have the California Dream and Translation. It's going to be more of a conversation. It's going to be like a California Dreamin' podcast. And Rachel and Paris are going to be chit-chatting about the book of Revelation. Ready to go.
It's
Paul,
on
put
you,
the
Paris.
two of them next to each other's faces.
You're
I'll move
gonna.
down.
You're gonna.
Hey, do I hear?
Move me down where Rachel is.
It's work.
Not. It takes
The producer's
work.
complaining about producing.
I was supposed to like pull my hair.
Every time we say producer man Paul, I just want you to know that like in my head
Producer man
plays
Paul.
producer man Paul. Just in my brain.
Producer man.
I wrote it, but still.
We're waiting.
We're
When-
waiting for
When we do the
our
music video,
debut.
I'm gonna give Paul some gold chains and some 2 chains.
All right, let's go.
Oh no.
California dreaming.
Paul is attempting to.
You want to do a jingle today?
California. They're dreaming.
There we go.
It's the translation.
All set.
Not on our end.
Sorry. Boom. How's that?
Okay.
Isn't that cool?
Okay.
Yeah. Move it. Why don't you put it up by them, the little floating clouds?
Look at the handing.
We're being picky, nitpicky on the screen.
Yeah, we're
Producer
gonna
man
be
Paul,
about to
you just
quit.
Okay,
you do
all right,
what
ready,
you can
go.
do.
Ready, go.
Oh my god, Rachel.
I'm Perry.
How are ya?
I'm really fabulous.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so great. Have you been reading your Bible lately?
I did like pick it up and like it was so heavy. You know, I'm fasting and I'm trying to lose a couple of pounds for the Oscars or whatever it is. So I picked it up and I just dropped it. But when it fell, it opened up to like the end.
Oh, the end of Revelation.
Yeah, Revelations with an S. I don't know if it has
No
an S,
S.
or not.
No, they dropped the S. Like Prince dropped his name. It's just Revelation.
Revelation of John.
Sure.
I love the face of like, I could have totally messed up right now. And I don't really know, but we're going to roll with it because it's California.
Revelation. So I didn't really get to read it that well. I kind of flipped through it. It was really weird, but have you read it?
I read like part of it.
Are you British?
The fact that
Are
you're British or California, it's like you can't
The
pick which
British
one.
totally came out.
A few times.
Okay. I'm doing an accent change because clearly I can't stick with my California.
You're very British, moved to California.
So like
Revelation is whack, isn't it? Isn't it?
so
Which one
like
does the hair
Revelation's whack in it because like did you read the part where like it's like Jesus, yeah. Oh my gosh, it's giving Russell Brand.
No, it's worse. He's worse.
It's like Jesus, right? Was like they said that was a lamb with 7 horns and 7 eyes. Did you see that? In the
I was
Revelation.
just assuming he was on a psychedelic trip when he wrote that part.
Oh, not the mushrooms. No, darling, no.
But
No.
I was told that they don't do that in Bible times.
But like it was a vision, yeah, of him in heaven to represent the 7 spirits of God, yeah, which was like totally wicked.
I mean, y'all, this is a hot mess.
It totally is.
California dreaming. And you were trying to be all smart.
I can't not talk British. She's talking British.
It's coming down.
Okay,
We
thank
need
you, Paul.
the British version.
Do we have a British
Wow.
version?
We don't, but we can get
We
one.
can get one.
Definitely
You gotta
get a
get it
British-
with
Bible or
like
Cockney, you decide.
You didn't even start with the whole part where John's like on the island and all the things. That's what I thought
No,
you were going
can
to
I
start
just say
with.
that Revelation is like I
Bananas.
can't get through it because every time I promise you I've tried like 5 times to get through Revelation. The part in like chapter 5 or 6 where the scorpions with the wings and they've got heads
Hair like women
and they're
faces
screaming and they're attacking people is like that just sends me.
I
I'm
will
like, you know,
I will say this.
I'm good.
A lot of Revelation also can be, the symbolism can be matched up with the book of Daniel. And if you look at the crazy dreams in the book of
Yes.
Daniel, it's highly symbolic.
Yes.
Like these creatures represent countries. So it's like, yes, you see these things with these crazy descriptions, but in my mind, they're representing something else. It's not.
Well, and I could see that for like when it's like, oh, and then an angel poured out his bowl and then a quarter of the earth engulfed in flames. Like, I'm like, okay, I can get like just like a couple of imagery. I could get the beast that rises up out of the sea with the 10, blah, 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 blah. I could get, you know, oh, spirit. We're seeing stuff in the spirit. We don't know what stuff looks like. I can rock with it to a certain extent, you know? But I feel like that was very literal. And I can't trust it.
And we won't know.
I don't want to run into one. That's all I got to say.
This is the truth.
So we're hoping to be pre-trib. Is that what side of the...
I
No.
believe in pre-trip,
No.
not because it's biblical or not just because I went out. Get out.
I want to go out with my whole family, everybody, all at the same time. No sadness, no
goodness.
mourning. We're all just going at the same time.
I was telling Jenny, there's a, what was that music video with Crowder and Crushing Snakes?
Oh gosh, my
Which-
kids are obsessed with that music video.
LOL. I like how I showed it to you and I'm like, have you seen this thing? And like all the kids are like,
They watch it so much.
I was telling Jenny, I was like, I don't want to be like the people in the clouds, like watching, like when Jesus comes down on his horse and is like kicking butt. I want to be like the people next to him to be like, yeah, Jesus. Because I want to go up to heaven with him and be like, I saw it. Jesus wielded a sword of pure light.
I mean, everyone's gonna see it. We
But
gonna
like,
be.
I wanna.
You want it splashing on your face?
Yeah.
This
I want the front
this
row
may
seat.
be weird, but I really get excited about the horses in heaven. I want a horse. I miss horses. I love horses.
That is so
Moment.
sweet and wholesome.
I used to be around horses as a
Aw,
kid, and
pregnant
anyone
Rachel.
who's ever been around horses, you never lose it. You always
This
want
is
to have a
true.
horse.
Side note,
This is
pregnant
true.
Rachel is the best Rachel. You cannot change my mind.
Paul will disagree.
You know what? You're adorable pregnant.
Oh,
Except for I'm dealing
that
with
was
hot
sweet.
flashes
Yes.
and mood crashes and
wearing her
narcoleptic episodes where
What
I
were you
can't
wearing
hold my
today? It was
eyes
so cute, this
open.
little vintage, like apron.
her little
Oh
So
yeah.
adorable.
my there's a
Like,
funny
"You're
story
so cute."
where one of our good friends at church, Mr. Lucas, reminded me of it. Of when at Spark, remember when Spark happened before the world shut down?
Yes.
That
First-
2020,
yeah.
like that
yeah,
spark.
yeah. And Rachel was pregnant with Juniper, and
I was pregnant with Kingy.
oh,
I was. Nice.
love that.
So
And
long ago.
Rachel,
It was a
I'm
long
like
time ago.
crying because of all of like, well, also because duh. And when am I not crying?
And with you, there's always a part of you that's probably always crying, even when you're not crying.
Just a fragment in the background. What's wrong? So I'm just like overwhelmed because it's, you know, just the glory of the atmosphere. But I like wanted to like feel Jesus, but I was only like lightly feeling Jesus. So I'm like, what's wrong? And Rachel comes out all
That was a
cute and
great
pregnant.
noise.
She's like swinging from side to side, all sweet. She's like, so is this a good cry or a bad cry? And apparently that's what they say at church now when I'm crying. It's like, is that a good cry or is that a bad cry? I'm like, great.
one?
I don't know if I wanted to know that, but good to know. Thanks, fam. Because of that moment, just sweet little pregnant Rachel. Had a good cry.
Dang, you
or
were
a
like
bad
about
cry.
to deliver then.
Oh yeah, she was
February
big.
2020.
Yes.
The belly was bellying.
And I was still carrying equipment. I had gotten over a cold and I was still coughing. It was
Yeah, it was great quantities of fun. We were like putting tape down on the
was
carpet
rough.
and
Yep.
setting up for like 5 hours the day
was a
before.
lot.
Yep.
It was a lot.
Anyway.
Don't you just like not miss those days, Paul, of like when we had to set everything up
don't
2
miss it.
hours in advance?
I don't miss it.
Praise God, we got a building.
The joys of being a mobile church where you have to lug everything.
We did it
everywhere.
last year for Dominion or something.
Yeah,
We've got to get you a microphone, Paul.
We do.
You need to get a mic.
I low key miss those days though. Like at the movie theater where we'd have to like get everything, and then like I always felt so cool because we're like packing up and we're like hoisting stuff, and like Jordan and Paul are yelling at me to make sure I'm tying up cables the right way, and like people are coming in with their popcorn, just like.
They got a pre-show watching all of us scramble like chickens with our head cut off, trying to get everything out of the
trailer
out of the church. Basically yelling, "Hurry! We gotta look it all."
Grab the cable. No, this way, not that way.
I love the people that they came and they got their seat and they just sat there just like letting you walk through them like, you good?
There's a plug under your feet. You need to get that.
Jesus.
All right, I'm gonna say why don't we call that there? It's been an hour in the show,
The show.
the Christian Anything Show.
Thank
we'll be back
you
in 2
for
weeks.
hanging out with us. Oh, we
In
can't
dose
forget.
weeks. I'm not gonna forget because you're gonna remind me right now. What are we doing?
We got to make sure we got to do our thing.
What thing?
We haven't been doing our thing for like 2 months.
We have a case of the summers. We have bad summeritis.
our coordinated outros and stuff. We haven't been
Oh,
doing
no,
that.
not that. I mean, yes, we need to get back to doing that. But, well, we have to remember, what's the sevenfold? The sevenfold is...
Go ahead and just do it because I.
Wow. A registered 501c3.
Oh
So
yeah.
go ahead, toss us some dollars if you want. Practice.
Toss it just like that confetti.
Yeah,
Just-
exactly. Ready,
just
wait,
get a
Paul.
ball of
3,
cash
2,
and just
1.
flying it at us.
Whooshoo.
Yes.
Toss us your
You
money.
can throw it at your
You
computer
know what
screen
we
or
really
TV.
want though? More than dollars right now. We want
we
some
want
engagement.
some engagement. We want to
Yeah.
see
And
your
prayer.
comments.
Pray for us.
Comments.
Yeah, like,
And
subscribe.
the comments.
Also, here's the deal. If you're watching this and you've made it to this end of the show and you haven't subscribed yet, do yourself the favor and subscribe, okay? Because one, congratulations to you. You've made it this far. Number two, we have a lot of different shows with a lot of different things that are coming out multiple days during the week. It's not
Yeah, we
just
do.
Monday night. We got things on Mondays and Tuesdays and Saturdays and sometimes Fridays. You never know. So just like hit that button and you'll be notified. every time.
Yeah, and you know what I saw like 5 days ago that popped up on our YouTube? Some episode of Radical Direction that were previously
Yes.
just recorded but are now up on YouTube, audio only.
Yeah, so episode 2 and 7 are on YouTube. Don't ask me why. But episode 7 is the one that's actual video with Jacob and I in our faces. But we did upload
Oh,
the RSS feed to YouTube. So now all of the episodes that were not on YouTube, you can listen
are
to
on
them all.
YouTube. And
You
this
can listen
is,
to them.
do we have a Life for Your Soul episode?
There is one coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow
Ready
morning.
to
Which
go.
is probably when you're going to be
Woo.
watching it. It'll be sitting here ready, waiting for you.
And on
we have
Saturdays, we got Let's
we
Talk.
got a Let's Talk coming out on Saturday as
Come
well.
on.
Well,
That's so
right.
exciting. And we got stuff in the mix too that's cooking. Ooh.
Ooh, that surprised me.
Me too. We got stuff cooking. We got stuff in the works. We got more shows coming out here. You know, we gonna fill up your whole things.
Fireworks.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays for Jesus. Every day for Jesus.
That's right.
Maybe. Keep
All
your
right.
eyes peeled.
You know, stuff's going on. We don't know. Anything could happen.
No one knows. You know who does know? The Lord.
Ooh.
I
Anyways,
also know that once the school kicks in and we all get back on a schedule,
We'll be back here every Monday night.
we will, and we'll be a little
Every
bit
Monday
little
night.
bit more professional at that point.
I don't know if they are going to be more professional, but hopefully more of you will be here.
I don't
and
like
that
these
will be
words. Professional. It's a Christian anything.
Professional.
Professionally silly. Yes, professionally silly. All
Word
right.
up. So don't
We're
forget
gonna
to
see you
subscribe. Below is the
Later, Paul. Take us.
wow. I'm trying to make sure we get subscribers. Okay, fine.
We already had our subscriber spiel.
Did we?
Yes, we did. I'm trying not to bore the audience. Go ahead, Paris.
More fireworks than that.
No, it's okay. Fireworks.
Those are shocking every time.